Imagine waking up in the morning and the very first thought that hits you is fear. Fear of bills, fear of not having enough, fear that somehow your hard work will never be enough to catch up. Now picture a different version of that same morning. You open your eyes with calm confidence, knowing that whatever comes, you have enough, and that abundance is not just for the wealthy elite, but for anyone who dares to shift their mindset. Which version feels more alive to you? Which one feels closer to the life you deserve? And here's the truth. Abundance is not about a specific number in your bank account. It's about trust, management, and a belief that you are always equipped to handle what life brings. The fear of running out is one of the most universal human fears. It has been wired into us since ancient times, when survival meant storing enough food for the winter, or gathering enough resources to avoid famine. Even though we live in modern cities, with digital banking and food delivery apps at our fingertips, that primal scarcity instinct still whispers in our ears. What if it's not enough? Many people carry this fear daily, letting it shape their decisions, their stress levels, and even their self-worth. But living in constant fear of lack is not only exhausting, it's also unnecessary in a world filled with opportunities. Let's be honest, money stress can feel suffocating. You might find yourself lying awake at night thinking about bills, wondering how you'll cover unexpected expenses, or comparing your situation to others who seem to have more. This is the cycle of scarcity. It convinces you that you'll never catch up, that you'll never be safe, that the future is always dangerous. But here's the shift. We can move from fear to confidence by embracing an abundance mindset. This doesn't mean ignoring reality or pretending everything is fine. It means learning to manage money wisely, building habits that create security, and choosing to focus on what's possible rather than what's missing. The first step in replacing fear with confidence is awareness. You cannot change what you don't acknowledge. When you notice the fear rising, the anxiety about your bank balance, the guilt over spending, the panic when an unexpected expense shows up, you can pause and say, "This is scarcity speaking." That pause is powerful. It's the moment where you separate yourself from the fear and remind yourself, you are not your circumstances, and you are not powerless. Fear shrinks when it is named. Confidence grows when you recognize that you have choices, but awareness alone isn't enough. To truly feel confident, you need a foundation of financial clarity. Too many people live in the dark about their money. They avoid looking at their statements, they don't track where their money goes, and they hope that ignoring the problem will somehow ease the fear. Yet the opposite is true. Scarcity thrives in uncertainty. Confidence thrives in clarity. The simple act of writing down your income, expenses, and obligations can transform the way you feel. It's like turning on a light in a dark room. Suddenly the monsters of fear aren't so big anymore. Imagine this. Instead of dreading your bills, you have a clear plan. You know exactly how much money flows in and how much flows out. You see patterns you didn't notice before, maybe subscriptions you forgot, or spending habits that aren't bringing you joy. This clarity is not punishment, it's liberation. Because once you know the truth of your numbers, you can make empowered decisions. Fear says, "I don't know how I'll make it." Confidence says, "I know what's coming and I know what I can do about it." The next shift is reframing how you view money itself. For many people, money is purely survival. It's rent, food, gas, and little else. But when money is reduced to survival, it becomes a constant source of fear. You're always one emergency away from disaster. To step into abundance, you need to see money not only as survival, but also as a tool for stability and growth. Every dollar is a worker that you direct. When you give your money a purpose, you take back control. Instead of money controlling you, you are the manager. This reframe turns spending from guilt into intention. It turns saving from scarcity into empowerment. For example, let's say you earn a modest income. Scarcity thinking says, "This isn't enough, I'll never get ahead." Abundance thinking says, "I have enough to cover what matters, and I can decide how to direct my money so it supports my goals." That might mean setting aside even $20 a month into an emergency fund. At first it feels small, almost laughable. But the power is not in the size, it's in the habit. Each time you save, you tell your brain, "I am building stability." Over time, that habit creates a cushion, and that cushion creates peace. Another vital step in replacing fear with confidence is shifting your language. Words are powerful, they shape your reality. Scarcity language sounds like this: I'll never afford that. Money just disappears. I'm always broke. Abundance language sounds like this: I'm learning to manage money. I'm choosing to invest in what matters. I'm building wealth one step at a time. Notice the difference. It's not about denying challenges, but about framing them in a way that keeps you in control. The words you speak about money either reinforce fear or strengthen confidence. This also means practicing gratitude for what you already have. Gratitude might seem like a soft concept, but it has hard financial power. When you acknowledge the roof over your head, the meal in front of you, or the paycheck you receive, even if it's small, you train your mind to see abundance where scarcity once ruled. Gratitude expands your awareness. It shifts your focus from lack to sufficiency, and from sufficiency to growth. Instead of always chasing more, you learn to appreciate enough. And when enough feels secure, fear begins to fade. Now, let's talk about the practical side of confidence: managing cash flow. Many people fear money because it feels like a mystery, something that slips through their fingers no matter how hard they try. But money management is simply about flow, what comes in and what goes out. One of the most empowering habits you can adopt is creating a spending plan. Not a restrictive budget that makes you feel trapped, but a plan that reflects your values. Ask yourself, what matters most to me? Security, experiences, family, health? Then allocate your money accordingly. When your spending aligns with your values, money becomes a reflection of who you are, not just numbers on a screen. For instance, if family time matters more to you than shopping, then redirecting money from impulse purchases to a family outing creates alignment. That alignment breeds confidence. Because now, instead of feeling guilty about spending, you feel empowered. You know your money is supporting what you care about. Scarcity says, I can't afford anything fun. Abundance says, I choose to spend on what brings joy and meaning. Emergency funds are another cornerstone of confidence. The fear of what if haunts many people. What if the car breaks down? What if I lose my job? What if a medical bill arrives? Without a safety net, every what if feels like a cliff edge. But when you build even a small emergency fund, you replace fear with assurance. That fund whispers, you are prepared. It doesn't have to be thousands at first. Even a few hundred can change the way you sleep at night. Each step you take toward preparation is a step away from fear. Investing also plays a role in abundance. Scarcity thinking says, investing is too risky, I'll lose everything. Abundance thinking says, investing is how I grow, slowly and steadily, over time. You don't have to be a Wall Street genius to invest. Simple, consistent contributions to retirement accounts, index funds, or other safe vehicles can transform your financial future. Investing is not about gambling, it's about planting seeds. Confidence comes from knowing you're building something that grows while you sleep. But confidence isn't only about money in the bank, it's about your identity. Do you see yourself as someone who is always struggling, or as someone capable of handling money wisely? Identity is powerful because we live in alignment with who we believe we are. If you believe I'm bad with money, you'll unconsciously sabotage yourself. If you believe I'm learning to master money, you'll take actions that reinforce growth. Shifting your identity is one of the deepest ways to build lasting confidence. Let's also address comparison. In today's world, scrolling through social media can trigger scarcity instantly. You see people traveling, buying houses, upgrading cars, and you feel like you're falling behind. But comparison is a trap. It fuels fear. Abundance thinking reminds you, your journey is unique. Someone else's highlight reel is not your reality. When you stop measuring your worth against others, you free yourself to build your own version of abundance. Confidence is not about having what they have. It's about knowing that what you have and what you're building is enough for you. The journey from fear to confidence is not overnight. It is built one habit, one choice, one mindset shift at a time. But every small step compounds. Tracking your expenses, speaking empowering words, saving a little, practicing gratitude. These are not just tasks. They are seeds of confidence. And when you nurture them, they grow into financial peace. Think about this. Fear of running out keeps you trapped in survival mode. Confidence of having enough frees you to thrive. When you believe you have enough, you stop chasing desperately and start creating intentionally. That shift opens doors, not just financially, but emotionally, spiritually, and relationally. Money stops being the enemy and becomes the ally. Scarcity stops being the cage, and abundance becomes the open sky. And here's the final reminder. Abundance is not a finish line. It's not when you hit a certain salary or save a certain amount. Abundance is a practice. It is choosing every day to trust, to manage wisely, and to believe in sufficiency. When you live from that place, you are no longer at the mercy of fear. You carry with you a quiet, steady confidence. I have enough, I am enough, and more than enough is on its way. If part one is about awakening to the possibility of moving from fear to confidence, then part two is about building the daily structures that allow that confidence to take root and grow. Confidence doesn't appear out of thin air. It is cultivated. Just like a garden needs regular watering and weeding, your financial peace of mind requires consistent attention. The beautiful truth is that once you put systems in place, they begin to carry the weight for you, and what once felt heavy becomes manageable. Let's begin with the power of automation. Many people underestimate how much stress they carry simply from juggling due dates, remembering to pay bills, and trying to keep track of obligations. Each unpaid bill is a seed of anxiety, each forgotten due date a jolt of fear. But automation transforms that cycle. By setting up automatic payments for recurring expenses, by automating savings transfers, you eliminate dozens of small decisions that otherwise drain your mental energy. Confidence grows when you know the essentials are taken care of without constant worry. It's like setting your life on rails. Your money moves toward your goals without you having to wrestle with it every day. Automation also builds consistency, and consistency is the antidote to fear. When you know that, every month without fail, a set amount goes to savings or investments, you start to feel anchored. Instead of wondering, will I ever get ahead, you begin to see progress stacking up. Even if the amounts are small, the habit itself whispers security. It is not about how much you do at once. It is about what you do repeatedly. Fear thrives in chaos. Confidence thrives in rhythm. Beyond automation, another cornerstone is intentional spending. We touched on aligning money with values, but let's go deeper. Scarcity often tempts us into two extremes, hoarding or overspending. Some people hold money so tightly they never enjoy it, living in a prison of fear. Others spend impulsively, chasing short bursts of relief from their anxiety. Both patterns are symptoms of scarcity thinking. Intentional spending breaks this cycle. It says, I will spend freely on what matters most, and I will cut without guilt what doesn't. This balance creates freedom. You're not depriving yourself, nor are you sabotaging yourself. You are living on purpose. To practice intentional spending, ask yourself 3 simple questions before any purchase. Does this align with my values? Does this create long-term benefit or just short-term escape? Will I regret this tomorrow? These questions slow down the scarcity impulse, which often pushes us toward instant gratification or fear-driven choices. They bring your decisions into the light of clarity. Over time, this habit builds a sense of control, and control is the soil where confidence grows. Confidence also requires reframing emergencies. For many people, unexpected expenses feel like proof that they will never be secure. A flat tire, a medical copay, a broken appliance, each becomes a crisis, a reminder of fragility. But with preparation, emergencies lose their power to terrify. When you expect the unexpected, you no longer crumble when it arrives. This is where the emergency fund, even a small one, becomes a psychological game changer. Imagine 2 people, one with 0 savings and one with $500 set aside. When the car breaks down, the first person feels panic, shame, and defeat. The second feels inconvenience, but also reassurance. I've got this. That difference is not just financial, it's emotional. The presence of a cushion creates the experience of abundance. Yet abundance is not only about defense, it's about defense too. You move from fear to confidence, not just by protecting yourself from loss, but by creating opportunities for growth. This means developing skills that increase your earning power. Scarcity often traps us in a mindset of, this is all I'll ever make. Abundance asks, what skills, knowledge, or connections could expand my potential? Learning new skills, seeking additional income streams, or pursuing career growth are not just financial strategies. They are confidence builders. Each new skill makes you less dependent on external forces and more capable of shaping your own destiny. This is why financial education is so powerful. The more you understand money, how credit works, how investments grow, how taxes function, the less mysterious it becomes. Fear often comes from the unknown. When you learn, you replace the unknown with understanding, and understanding brings peace. A person who doesn't know how interest works might fear debt without ever knowing how to escape it. A person who learns, however, can create a plan, negotiate better terms, or avoid destructive choices. Knowledge turns helplessness into action. Confidence also grows when you stop letting debt define you. Scarcity mindset whispers, "You're buried, you'll never escape, you're a failure." But abundance mindset says, "Debt is a situation, not an identity. It can be managed and it can be overcome." Shifting your relationship with debt is critical. Instead of avoiding it or feeling crushed by it, you can face it with a plan. Maybe that means consolidating, negotiating, or using a snowball or avalanche method to pay it down. Each step you take toward resolution strengthens your belief in your ability to handle challenges. Fear shrinks not when everything is perfect, but when you know you're in motion. Let's not forget the role of gratitude in this daily structure. Gratitude is more than a mental exercise. It is a habit that shifts your entire nervous system from stress to calm. Start or end your day by listing 3 things you have that money cannot buy: health, relationships, peace of mind, opportunities to grow. When you root yourself in gratitude, you carry less desperation into your financial decisions. Gratitude says, "Even as I build more, I am already rich." That richness builds trust in yourself, and trust is the essence of confidence. Another practice to replace fear is visualization. Take a few minutes each day to imagine your financial life not as it is, but as you want it to be. Picture yourself calmly paying bills, saving with joy, and having margin for generosity. Your brain doesn't fully distinguish between real and vividly imagined experiences. Visualization creates a rehearsal for confidence. It conditions your mind to believe in the possibility of abundance, and when your mind believes, your actions follow. There is also power in community. Scarcity thrives in isolation. When you feel like you're the only one struggling, shame amplifies the fear. But when you surround yourself with people who are also practicing abundance, you realize you're not alone. Whether it's a financial literacy group, an accountability partner, or even following inspiring voices online, community lifts you out of despair. In supportive environments, conversations about money shift from secrecy and shame to openness and growth. This openness reinforces confidence because you're reminded that challenges are normal and progress is possible. And let's address generosity. It may sound counterintuitive. How can giving money away create confidence when you're already afraid of running out? But generosity is one of the boldest statements of abundance. When you give, even a small amount, you declare, "I believe I have enough to share." That belief reshapes your identity. Instead of seeing yourself as a victim of scarcity, you begin to see yourself as a participant in abundance. Generosity reminds you that money is a flow, not a stagnant pool. What you release often finds its way back multiplied. The act itself strengthens your inner sense of sufficiency. Lastly, confidence comes from perspective. Step back and remember, your worth is not measured by your net worth. Money is important, but it is not the measure of your humanity. Many people tie their self-esteem so tightly to their financial state that every setback feels like a personal failure. Abundance mindset breaks that bond. It says, "I am valuable because I exist." Money is a tool I use, not a mirror of my worth. This perspective is liberating. It means you can make mistakes, recover, and still hold your head high. It means that financial progress becomes a journey of growth, not a verdict on your identity. The path from fear to confidence is built through these structures: automation, intentional spending, preparation for emergencies, skill building, financial education, debt management, gratitude, visualization, community, generosity, and perspective. Each one is a pillar. Together, they create a foundation strong enough to carry you through challenges and flexible enough to grow. Fear may still knock at your door, but with these practices in place, you no longer live as its prisoner. You Greet it with calm, with clarity, and with the steady assurance that you already have, and always will have, enough. By now, you can begin to see that the journey from fear of running out to the confidence of always having enough is not about sudden windfalls or miraculous luck. It is about mindset, structure, and daily practice. Fear tells you that life is fragile, that you're always on the edge of disaster. Confidence tells you that no matter what happens, you have the tools, the clarity, and the resilience to handle it. This transformation is not reserved for the wealthy or the privileged. It is available to anyone who chooses to shift their perspective and take steady, intentional steps. Think about what your life would look like if fear no longer dictated your financial decisions. Imagine paying your bills without dread, saving without guilt, spending with joy because you know it aligns with your values. Picture yourself calm when an unexpected expense arises, not because you're immune to life's surprises, but because you're prepared. This is the freedom that comes when abundance replaces scarcity. It is not about never facing challenges. It is about meeting challenges with strength and peace. One of the most liberating truths about abundance is that it starts inside. You don't need to wait until your income doubles or until every debt is erased to feel secure. You can begin now with the smallest shifts, choosing gratitude over anxiety, choosing clarity over avoidance, choosing to invest in yourself rather than comparing yourself to others. Each choice is a vote for confidence, and every vote builds momentum. Over time, the story you tell yourself about money changes. You stop saying, "I'll never have enough," and you start saying, "I always have what I need, and I'm growing more every day." It is also worth remembering that abundance is not only about money. It spills into every area of life. When you stop obsessing over lack, you free mental energy for creativity, for connection, for purpose. Your relationships improve because you're no longer stressed about every dollar. Your career expands because you're not paralyzed by fear. You're willing to take risks, to learn, to grow. Your mental health strengthens because you carry less shame and more hope. Financial confidence becomes a foundation that supports the rest of your life. And yes, setbacks will come. Markets fluctuate, jobs change, unexpected expenses happen. But when you live from abundance, you are no longer destroyed by setbacks. You adapt, you learn, you recover. Because confidence is not the absence of problems, it is the presence of belief in your ability to overcome them. You realize that abundance is not about a static number in the bank. It is about a dynamic trust in yourself and in the opportunities around you. As we close this part of the journey, here's the truth to carry with you. You are not powerless, and you are not destined to live in fear. You can build clarity, create systems, adopt empowering beliefs, and surround yourself with supportive practices. Every step you take strengthens the foundation of your confidence. And once you taste that freedom, you will never want to go back to the prison of scarcity thinking. So let this be your call to action. Begin today. Don't wait for the perfect moment, the perfect salary, or the perfect conditions. Choose one small step now. Set up automation, start an emergency fund, write down your spending, practice gratitude, or speak one sentence of abundance over your finances. One step is enough to start. And then another, and another. The momentum will build, and fear will fade. If this message has sparked something in you, if you feel ready to shift your mindset and embrace the life of confidence and abundance that's waiting for you, then stay connected with us here on Think Fresh Daily. This channel is about more than just information. It's about transformation. Subscribe today. Share this journey with others who need hope. And let's build a community of people who are ready to break free from scarcity and live boldly in abundance. Because your future is not defined by fear. It's defined by the choices you make starting right now.